Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about this week's TV news. We also use this video as a sort of weekly channel update kind of thing, if there's anything to talk about. This week there isn't really. We did finish the already cancelled Twin Peaks run, with the exception of the movie, which follows it, which we're doing in a couple of days' time. We actually finished watching season 1 or 2 of Twin Peaks and reviewing all of that, so if you wanted to go back and sort of relive it if you've already seen it, or if you're binge watching to catch up for the new season that's about to hit, you can watch us along and hear us theorise and all the rest of it.
It's left us rather excited for the new show.
It has. It really has. I guess the only notable thing this week is that Riverdale finished its season, so the finale was this week, which is one less thing for next week.
I know. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And this coming week, I know I usually do this at the end, but just while I'm thinking about it, this coming week, the season finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. is upon us, so that's the notable thing there. But otherwise, nothing sort of overly worth mentioning. The one worthwhile, let me say that again. The one worthwhile thing to talk about is the fact that this may in fact be, now that I'm going to say this, it's probably not going to be, but this may in fact be the longest episode of news that we have ever done, because it is upfront week, and the TV networks are all greenlighting their series, they're renewing things, they're cancelling things, and I have if it isn't the longest news video we've ever done, it's at least the biggest amount of news I've ever had written down.
Yeah, it's certainly the most number of news articles, but
yes,
depending on how much we tangent and talk about other stupid shite, depends on how long it actually is.
Yes, because obviously some other episodes we've tangented and stuff, so maybe we'll get through this really quickly. Maybe we'll bullet point our way through, like a machine gun, just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, we'll go, there's so much we feel obligated just to stay on topic.
Yeah, I feel no obligation. If you just settle in, folks. Buckle in, get a drink, maybe a snack.
It's probably a good idea.
In fact, I mean, the best way to experience it, I think, is in the bath. Have your tablet or something, laptop maybe, with this on to the side, or your phone, and just soak in the bath with some candles. And
I would agree, but it's a bit weird to have popcorn in the bath.
We'll do have popcorn. Get a more suitable bath snack.
What is a suitable bath snack?
Something that doesn't have crumbs. Anything that has crumbs or flakes or anything like that, you can't have in the bath. You don't want it spilling in the bath. You want something that's nice and simple and will maintain its integrity. I feel like ice cream, like a little, if you got a sundae or something, I feel like that works well in the bath. I've never done it, but I want to try it now that I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I can see. Look at that, we're tangented already. We haven't even got to any news yet.
We tangented talking about what might happen if we tangent whilst talking about the lots of news. We're off to a winning start, folks. So let's get into it. So the first couple of things that are here, and I use the word couple very loosely, is I've just got a straight list of cancellations and then a straight list of renewals. We might stop and say a couple of things on some of them. A lot of these I couldn't even tell you what the show is. So, but I wanted to be thorough. I wanted to. I mean, normally if some of these were announced on sort of on their own in a week, where it was just a normal week, I probably wouldn't even look at the article. I would just ignore it. But this is upfront week. It's a list of cancellations.
Yeah, people expect to hear a full list of everything this week.
Yes, thorough, and just here we go. Get ready for this. This is the cancellations, and we start with one we actually care about. NBC cancelled Timeless, which we covered season 1 of. It ended on some cliffhangers. There was loose ends. We were hoping it'd come back. Unfortunately, that is not to be.
Yeah, and it seems like it's just down to numbers, because obviously there was that whole thing about the lawsuit that we spoke about a while back.
Yeah, that may have been a big contributing factor, actually.
It may have been, but we haven't heard anything about that at the very least.
No, we haven't, but it's still ongoing. Like they're still waiting for court dates and things like that. I wonder if it's just a simple case of this is not worth the hassle. It's not big enough and successful enough to make it worth this hassle.
It's quite possible. I know the showrunners has tweeted around saying that Sony, who make it, are shopping around for somewhere else for it, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, I'm not hopeful. It might be nice if it did, but I'm not feeling optimistic about it at this point.
Me either.
So, unfortunately, that appears to be a casualty. And Yeah, I mean, we don't suffer a lot of these casualties, actually. We tend to be quite lucky with the shows we cover. We tend to
Yeah,
just...
this is the first proper season where now we're losing some stuff we cared about.
Yeah, so Timeless, cancelled. And we already talked about Pitch last week, just for another thing that we cared about. So NBC also cancelled the Blacklist Redemption, which is the spin-off to the Blacklist. I believe it's only had this one season, and it's gone. ABC, so only two NBC cancellations to speak of this now. Now, obviously, the upfronts are still ongoing. I should point this out. There's probably going to be some news that happens just after we record this. Like, they're still going through it. So there'll be some straggling stuff that we'll do in next week's video. But this is where we are at the time of recording. So Last Man Standing get cancelled by ABC. That was the Tim Allen sitcom. It had 6 seasons, so it had a decent little run. But
Can't say I ever watched it.
that's gone. ABC also cancelled Dr. Ken after 2 seasons.
Good. That was atrocious.
Never watched it. They cancelled The Catch after 2 seasons. Never even heard of that one, if I'm honest.
Me either.
They cancelled American Crime after 3 seasons. ABC cancelled a lot of stuff. They cancelled Secrets and Lies after 2 seasons. They cancelled Imaginary Mary, which is actually just airing its first season just now. That was quite a late mid-season starter.
Yeah.
And they also cancelled The Real Neils after 2 seasons. So that was a lot of ABC stuff.
Yeah,
there.
they've freed up plenty of time for next year.
Yeah. Fox cancelled Son of Zorn, which we did the pilot of. And we liked the pilot. I haven't watched any of the rest of it yet, I don't think. But the pilot was fun.
It was alright, yeah.
They cancelled Making History, which actually had a decent pilot as well. It wasn't like it didn't scream amazing. We have to watch this, but it was okay. It was fine. Yeah. They also cancelled APB, which again had a decent pilot. It wasn't our type of show to cover, but it was fine.
But yeah, for what it was perfectly decent.
So they also cancelled Sleepy Hollow after 4 seasons.
I'm surprised this got a 4th season in the first place. After one of its leads left, so
Yeah, it felt like one of those. It's kind of like how Scrubs get that final season where they completely changed the format of the show. It kind of feels like that, where it was like they tried to revive it just there at the end.
It was like desperation, as that it's got a name recognition. It did still at the time reasonable numbers. They wanted to keep it just because, and clearly it didn't work out.
They also cancelled Rosewood after 2 seasons, so that's the Fox cancellations. And then finally, CW. Who actually did cancel something. It's not common for them to do that, but they cancelled Frequency, and they cancelled No Tomorrow, both of which we covered the pilots of. Frequency we actually covered the first 3 episodes of, and Frequency was okay but not great, and we kind of let that go. No Tomorrow was kind of inoffensive but nothing exciting, so we just kind of let that go as well.
Yeah.
So not surprising that those both went, because neither of them get picked up for more episodes after Christmas, so...
Yeah, we were expecting this for a while, really.
So it kind of makes sense. So that's the cancellations. Now for the longer list of renewals. So I guess that's a happier thing because there's a lot of renewals. But how many do we
you
care
say
about?
that. Yeah, you say that. How many of these renewals make you angry?
Well, given how busy our schedule is, I'm actually kind of okay that a lot of things we don't cover are getting renewed, because it means it's less time slots to make our schedule hell.
That's true, but some of them that get renewed make me angry that got renewed and say Timeless got cancelled.
So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so these 7 NBC renewals that I'm about to tell you about, they're all going to make you angry because Timeless got cancelled, but these 7 got renewed.
Yeah.
And it's all building up to the one that's going to make you the most angriest as well.
I know which one you've put last. I know where you're going with this, you bastard.
NBC renewed The Blacklist for Season 5. They also renewed Chicago Fire for Season 6. They renewed Chicago PD for Season 5. They renewed Chicago Med for Season 3. Interestingly, they have not announced a renewal for Chicago Justice, which only just had its first season. But they've not formally cancelled it yet either, so... But the fact that they didn't mention it when they mentioned all this... surely I think it has to be gone, or maybe they're still working out contracts to maybe shake it up a little bit.
It's not looking good though, is it?
Nah. How shitty do you have to feel like you work on the one Chicago show that didn't get a straight renewal, like the other 3 all got it? Maybe that was just one Chicago show too many. They also renewed Blind Spot for Season 3. So, if you like that, there you go. They renewed Blackish for Season 4. That's the comedy. And then finally, they renewed for Season 2, bafflingly, Taken, which is a pilot we did cover, and we thought it was pretty bad. We hated it, and we it wasn't MacGyver bad, sure, but it was pretty damn bad.
Taken instead of Timeless.
Timeless was taken from us.
Just letting that sit in silence for a good few seconds there. Because the worst part of that is, I'm going to let them in on a little secret, is he said that to me yesterday, and it was goddamn atrocious then as well.
And then I let him know that I was going to do it again on the show, because it was too good not to use, and let people hear it. It's a fantastic pun. Alright, on to ABC. ABC renewed Modern Family for seasons 9 and 10. And I vaguely saw some, like, they were going up to the wire trying to get the contracts for the cast. 'Cause I think all the cast contracts ran out at the end of season 8, so they were kind of negotiating all the contracts. So clearly, still a big hit for them. They want season 9 and 10, which puts it into the same sort of length as kind of territories like Frasier and Cheers and stuff. No, those were ABC, but it gives it that kind of length. Speaking of double renewals, they also renewed the Goldbergs for season 5 and 6. So that's clearly their 2 hit comedies right now that they're quite happy with, because they're giving double renewals.
with Modern Family, I wonder if it was just more the contracts, so like the when they were trying to renew it, they were like, hey, we want 2 seasons at least, and then we'll sign it.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe it was a case of they don't think they're going to be on 10, so they want to just lock them in for the final 2, get 2 more years out of it, and maybe they're hoping that some of their new comedies coming this year will become hits and they
pick up the slack a bit. Yeah,
they can let Modern Family go after that. I've never seen the Goldbergs. I know Matt, who does movie reviews and comic stuff with us, he quite likes the Goldbergs, so I don't know if it's any good, but there you go. If you like it, you get 2 more seasons. They renewed Designated Survivor for season 2, which had an okay pilot. We didn't because it was on a Wednesday night. It was a busy night, and we weren't overly feeling it. So
it was fine. I can see why it's been renewed. It's that sort of show that makes sense to me, that it has a audience.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been renewed for season 5, baby.
That might be the best bit of news in this whole show.
It might be, because obviously there was a time a few weeks ago where we were a little bit worried about it. The buzz last week was quite positive that it was probably getting renewed, and this was official. It seems it's getting a full season, because we were thinking, maybe it'll get that 13 episode, final season to get to 100 episodes, give them a conclusion. But no, it seems like it's a full season 5, which means
no mention of it being a 5th and final season either, though.
No. So clearly, the fact that it gets good DVR numbers, it does well for streaming, it ties into their Marvel properties, it seems to be enough to keep it living. And it as much as it doesn't get great ratings, it seemed to keep its core audience when it moved time slot this year. So maybe it's just good for the slot, and you know what, if they keep this splitting it up into 3 arc system that they had this year, then I'm all for it, because
it worked really well.
These last 2 arcs this season have been the show at its peak, so I am ecstatic that it's coming back.
The only problem with them not saying 5th and final season is there's a very real chance we have to go through this whole thing again next year.
Yeah. But I'm hoping that in the era of these shows, selling the streaming rights for the whole thing and all that, they want an ending, because it benefits them. People will start the show and binge it and want to binge it if they know there's an ending.
Even if it gets to the point where they go, we'll give you 7 episodes, you can do 1 arc to wrap up.
I'd be fine with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Even if it just goes straight to Netflix, even if they just make a deal, you can just do it for Netflix. Kind of thing.
Maybe I can see it being just like a mid-season. Come in at January, finish for January, February, finish for March when the proper mid-season stuff comes in.
Yeah, maybe. But no, obviously we're happy. Great news. Very, very ecstatic about that. So they also renewed American Housewife for season 2. Don't know what that is. They announced they renewed Once Upon a Time for season 7. Although I did see it was losing some of its cast. They seem to be shaking up the cast a little bit for that new season.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But they also renewed Speechless for season 2, which is cool because we
very happy to hear about that. Yeah.
I haven't watched any more of it, but I love that pilot. So I am going to be binge watching that first season over the summer sometime. We may do a small video sort of talking about the season as a whole if it held up, kind of thing. We'll see how we feel. No promises, but I think we both want to watch it, which is why I say there's a chance that may happen. they also renewed Fresh Off the Boat for season 4. So, and great news for season 2. A lot of ABC renewals there. So as much as we said they cut a lot of stuff, they also renewed quite a bit as well.
Yeah, but that's stuff they had anyway, so there's still plenty of space for whatever they're greenlighting.
Yeah. On to some Fox renewals. Last Man on Earth has been renewed for season 4, which is cool. That's one I need to... I'm like halfway through season 2. I need to catch up, but I do enjoy that show. It was a show that I didn't like as much at first, but as it got going, it kind of found its feet a little bit, as some comedies
I think I gave up
typically do.
Late season 1 or early season 2, maybe.
Season 2 was definitely a step up. Like, I definitely felt like an improvement a couple of episodes into season 2. But no, I'm glad it's coming back though. That'll be maybe since I've not watched any of it since then. I feel like when it finally finishes, however long it lasts, I was like, all right, now I've got. I like having a long comedy to binge because it's like perfect binge material. I'm rewatching Seinfeld as I say that. They also renewed Gotham for season 4, which, whatever, sure.
People sicken me.
I hated it with a passion when I tried to watch it, but
this is the problem with society. when a show like this that aged up Ivy randomly this year, that was a big news thing.
Oh yeah, because they wanted it to have sex appeal. We can't have sex appeal on the 12-year-olds, so
exactly. And every so often, I see a news article about Gotham and what it's doing, and I'm going, what the goddamn hell is happening on this shit show? Why are people watching this? Why do people like this?
Honestly, I think for a lot of people, because I heard it got really crazy later in the first season, and then I've heard it's done nothing but get really crazy since. I think people watch it because it's batshit insane. Like, it's just, it throws all this random stuff at the wall and does all these crazy things.
I know recently it got named the Riddler, because obviously he was in there very early on. I think we saw him in like the first episode or whatever.
Oh, so he's actually the Riddler now.
Yeah, he became the Riddler very recently.
The most recent Fox renewal is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which has been renewed for season 5.
Yeah.
Apparently the figures aren't actually that great for that, but they think this is a case of the 100th episode will be in season 5, and that might have put them over the edge to maybe give it. So it could be the last season for that, because
even if it is, it's still 5 seasons of a great comedy.
Oh yeah. CW renewed the originals for season 5. I never heard of this until this week, and because Connor mentioned it, he said, "Oh, it's the Vampire Diaries spin-off." So then I saw, wait, season 5? When did this start? Spun this off that long ago?
It started alongside it, to be fair.
Okay, right. But more importantly, though, iZombie has been renewed for season 4.
And how nice to hear that. I mean, we're all like halfway through the season, almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that we hear it, it feels still early on, and it's just nice to know.
That is nice to know. But no, Liv is now going to outlive Veronica Mars because she's getting a season 4. Oh, to be fair, these seasons have been shorter, so
yeah, only two was a full season.
Yeah, even that was only 19 though. It wasn't quite the
That's true.
22. So
that said, 4 might be for all we know because CW don't tell us shit.
I would almost bet money it's not, just because they have so many shows and so little time slots that they have to have some halfers. And I feel like at least this year it won't be as bad a wait, because last year iZombie finished in April and then we didn't start the next season until April. That was painful.
Yeah, it was rough.
So at least if it doesn't start till March, April next year, it'll be fine because we won't have finished this season until June.
Yeah.
So. Alright, so that's all the networks, but we do actually have another couple.
There's just also a couple of things notably missing as of yet that we follow: The Exorcist and Scream Queens. And
we are all but certain that Scream Queens is dead, and yet it was not in the big batch of cancellations that Fox announced this week yet, which is weird and curious, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to sort some stuff out maybe on both of those, because it's quite late. Most of their stuff has come out by now, especially Fox. They did a lot over the course of a day or two.
Yeah, so here's hoping. Certainly Exorcist, I think, now, because it's not been cancelled yet, because I expected it to be, with the rest of them, I'm feeling kind of hopeful we might get a season 2 of The Exorcist. Okay, this is splicing in, right? I'm split, because as soon as we get done recording, I checked to see if there was more news, and we couldn't leave one of these things till... So, this is at the end of the renewals section.
Oh, Oh, okay. Which one is it that we care about?
Right. Now,
'Cause
first of all, I'll
I
mention.
want to say he hasn't told me what this is.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I've not told Connor. Right. First of all, the Sun got renewed at AMC. Right. So that's the thing. Right. Obviously, we weren't into that first. It was okay, but we weren't into it.
I don't give a damn. Tell me what I want to know.
Now, admittedly, this actually, I probably won't put this at the end of the renewals quite yet. I'll put it later on because it's relevant to a conversation that we have actually. So I'll make sure it's after that conversation. The Exorcist has been renewed for season 2 on Fox.
That's good.
You understand why I had to? Because Connor was like, "Don't look at any news. I don't want to have to record anymore. We just did like nearly 90 minutes," and I'm like, "No. We need to talk about this. We need to put this in last minute."
Yeah, those folks in the bath. That water's cold by now.
Let me click. Obviously, I didn't have this prepared. I'm just looking at it, so my face is very bright because the website's very bright. I'm just no details on the release. Yeah,
I would assume fall again because they want the October.
Yeah, I would think so as well, but I could also see it being mid-season because maybe this is one of the ones they're going right. We don't know which of the fall shows are going to be hits, so we're expecting to not carry some of them on, and this is one of the replacements that will come in mid-season.
Could be.
That could be it, but it didn't give us any other details. How many episodes? I would expect the 10, 13, whatever it was. I think it was 10, wasn't it?
13, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was 10. I think it was 10 if I remember right. But regardless,
yeah. It wasn't a full season. Is the
I can see it being that again. I think maybe the critical buzz and then having it as a possible replacement for something else. But it's funny because we were literally just saying, the fact that it's not been cancelled yet means it's probably a good sign. And there we go.
Scream Queens is gone though.
Who knows? Maybe we'll stop recording this little bit and.
Don't you goddamn dare click refresh on any of those websites.
So there you go, Exorcist. As we were doing. Now back to your regularly scheduled news
Nonsense.
video. Aye. Scream Queens, I still feel like it has to be dead, but at the same time, I can't deny that it's weird that it's not been cancelled yet. I feel like it'd have been done by now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a mid-season show. Oh, that'd be weird. Surely you want it in the side with the October for all the Halloween connections, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, both years it's played into Halloween and Thanksgiving, so maybe they want it after Christmas and to play with some different times of year.
I'll tell you what I'd like. Admittedly, this would be a weird thing to do, but I'd love them to like sort of air it like night after night over Christmas and have it all be Christmas themed.
That would be fantastic.
I think that'd be fun, and there'd be no other shows on at that point, so it'd be nice just to have a Scream Queens every night for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe not over Christmas Day, obviously, because they don't typically air things then. But that kind of idea. But yeah, there's a couple of non-network renewals that just they don't come into like the same slate, but they just happen to happen this week. So here they are. 13 Reasons Why is getting a season 2. I'm not sure how that's going to work out because as last I checked, she killed herself. That was the entire premise of the show.
Yeah. The whole thing was, here are the 13 reasons, and each one is an episode because there's 13 episodes.
Yes. So someone else killed themselves for season 2, maybe?
I guess.
Because it was a very interesting concept, but the concept did feel very one and done. It felt like a very, this is a great concept, but I don't see how you do it again. Like, do you just repeat it? Do you make it an anthology? I don't know. But it's been renewed, so clearly it's doing big things for Netflix, because they had been bragging that it was the most talked about on social media they've ever had for one of their shows. So clearly they're liking the buzz. And I remember reading an article about how Netflix actually values that more almost than the actual viewing of the shows.
Interesting, just because it's brand awareness.
Yeah, because it almost doesn't matter to them if you watch it, really. If you're paying for the service, it's like...
Yeah, I guess them the talking about it will be the brand awareness that might get people to sign up and look
exactly.
at it. Rather than actually, if you're there and watching it, cool, who cares to them?
Cool, it means they know you're going to stick around because you're watching their content. And to be fair, I mean, I've been working my way through the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I mean, they've got content for me right now.
Master of None season 2 just hit today, so I'm going to be checking that out. I got Kimmy Schmidt next week. I'm sorted.
Yeah. We're going to be catching up on Dear White People next month, which, people were asking us to do the rest of the season, so that's another good show they've put up. Man, they've been hitting with a lot of good stuff recently, so yeah. And then the last renewal that we've got to talk about, which comes early on in its season, American Gods has been renewed for season 2 at Stars.
I'm very, very happy about this.
Of course you are. I think this is going to be a short show. I feel like that's going to be like a 3-seasoner. Not because it's going to like tank and they're going to want to cancel it, just because I feel like the story is going to be.
That's the thing that's interesting. I obviously haven't read the book. A lot of it is just it's this big winding journey where 100 pages goes by in a village. And it'll be like you could have an entire season just at that this one section of the book. It really just goes off winding in all these different directions. It's a proper journey rather than having a start and end.
They did not mention episode number, so it could be 8 like season 1. It could maybe be 10 because that's more of a traditional cable order. But we'll see. Again, much like CW, they were being awful by not telling us these facts. I like to know these things.
Yeah, I think the rule of thumb is unless they say assume the same as before.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The only thing is though is they will have that information because when they renew something, they'll make an order for X number of episodes. So I know they have that information.
They're just not putting it in the press release.
Yeah, so it's especially frustrating to me because I know they have it. But there we go. So that's all the cancellations and renewals. Next up then, so on to some news. Before we get to all the green lights, I've put all the green lights. I've put like new shows we've not spoke about before first. And then we've got all the greenlit stuff, which is stuff that we have mentioned before. When it was in development, it was announced that we're doing a pilot. At some point in the stage, we've heard about it before. So those are all at the end, which is a big end, by the way. That's like half the show.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, but so some stuff before that. First up, we get a premiere date for a show that we knew was coming. Yeah, this is Room 104. I actually forgot to note it down. I think this is HBO. This is my bad. I forgot to note down the network here. I definitely mentioned it before when we talked about it. But Room 104, this is from the Duplass Brothers. This is the comedy anthology that's set in a motel room. And it's like different people in the same motel room every episode.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just checked. It is HBO, by the way.
Good. Yeah, my memory's not failing. Excellent. That's going to premiere on Sunday, the 28th of July. So, summer viewing.
I mean, that's presumably then the week just after Game of Thrones ends.
But they're replacing Game of Thrones with anthology comedy.
Game of Thrones starts in June.
Yeah. Well, I think this is on the 11 p.m. slot, so I think this will be after the Game of Thrones slot.
Fair enough.
So this is not replacing the Game of Thrones like drama, big drama hour that they tend to have. But no, that's cool. I'm curious to check it out. I think it's a good concept for a comedy.
Yeah. Well, I like the sound of it. Back then, it's a good idea to have. And it has an excuse to have all sorts of guests.
Yeah, and I at least like one of the Duplass brothers for his work on Creep and Safety Not Guaranteed. So I'm curious to check it out. Obviously, we'll do the pilot at the very least, and we'll see from there.
Yeah.
So cool. So next up, this one is kind of interesting and meaty because it's part of it's shitty because part of it's a new logo that looks horrendous, but. The Sci-Fi Channel, or I should just say Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi, because they'll be called the Sci-Fi Channel for a long time.
Never say Sci-Fi.
Why? What's wrong with Sci-Fi?
Just wrong.
That's how it's spelled.
I don't know. Some people who go by Sci as a name would spell it S-Y.
Don't support their bullshit.
In fact, the character Sci in Fargo right now, I believe, is spelled S-Y. So,
Okay, sci-fi.
I'm trying to think of a word that ends in like that syllable that you would say as a Y.
Let's move on, shall we? Actually, talk about this thing. Drawing this to a halt because you're fighting me because I cracked one joke about calling it Siffy. So they're doing a bit of a rebrand. They've got a new logo. It's horrendous. It's yellow text on black. It's big, blocky. This is even worse when they renamed it to this spelling of sci-fi. Like, you know what? The old logo, even if they wanted to rename it, right, because they wanted the trademark and they can't just trademark the phrase sci-fi. That little Saturn like sort of symbol was great. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect for this type of channel. But whatever. But the more interesting part of this, though, is that they are refocusing their content. And they're putting it into what they're calling the 4 pillars of the channel.
It's interesting. I will say I've heard, the general overview of some of this, the rebrand and some of the shows that they're including, but I've not heard the pillars specifically, so this is new to me.
That's interesting. So the first core is their core sci-fi programming, which they use The Expanse as an example of. So their core science fiction series, which are sort of their tentpole, if you will, which is good because we like that show, so great.
Yeah, we love that show. It's great.
Number 2, young adult fantasy fare in the model of The Magicians, which obviously is doing well for them. This is maybe the one of the 4 that maybe don't quite hit us specifically, but I think it's a solid pillar to have as an audience for.
Yeah.
And I think it fits with the rest of the channel. Number 3 is paranormal and supernatural, with some horror mixed in, such as Channel Zero, and they also mentioned that they've greenlit or at least they've got in development a Purge TV show coming from Blumhouse.
Yeah, I'm sure we heard about this a while ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we did, but this is just kind of like, this is a part of the horror pillar. Where...
I guess I'll have to finally watch one of those bloody movies.
2 and 3 are alright. One just feels like a failed, like the idea was there, but they focused on the wrong things. You can find out more about what I think of the Purge in the hit horror review show Streams After Midnight on this very channel.
You really butchered that plug there.
I really did, but all the same, go check it out.
This is where something should pop up in a corner, and you can just go straight there.
No, don't say that, because that means I need to find this moment later in editing and put it in.
That's exactly why I said it.
Oh god, what time are we at? Alright, okay. So paranormal horror, and so they've got Channel Zero, and I like this. I like the idea that they maybe always have like one horror show once they get a few shows up and running. So Channel Zero will swap into Purge, and that'll swap into, and they may not all be good, but the idea that you always have one core sci-fi, one core fantasy.
Part of me hopes they're not all good, because
we've got a busy
I
schedule.
like having a break from things, and we're busy enough with the things we do like as it is. Yeah,
and then the 4th pillar is superhero and comic book based series. And that includes the Krypton series, which they've just greenlit, as well as Happy, which is based on the Grant Morrison comic. So that's there. They also mentioned that The Machine, which is a pilot we talked about before, about AI, is still in development. They're still working through that. However, they decided not to go forward with The Haunted. That was the one about the small town, where it was like the cemetery owners, and there was creepy things going on in the town. Yeah. They've passed on that. That's not happening. But The Machine's still in development, so we might get a green light on that soon.
Fair enough.
So
when I was glancing over this news, I was really surprised at the Krypton thing that they were only just greenlighting it. I could have sworn this has been greenlit for like a year.
It's because we got that big trailer from the pilot that leaked. It was like 5 minutes long,
which I never got to see.
Yeah, but it felt like it was a done deal because we saw all that footage. But that was technically a leak, even though I didn't realise it when I watched it. It wasn't until after I was like, that was a leak, and then no one could find it anymore because they'd taken it down everywhere. But even legit websites were posting it, and they didn't even realise it was a leak.
No one realised it was a leak until Sci-Fi contacted them and said, hey, take it down.
Yeah. But of course, damage done. Everyone's seen it.
Except me.
Except you.
I may be one of the few remaining people on the internet who didn't see it.
But you know what? I really like this news. Other than the logo, because it's horrible. But I like this news, and because the young adult fantasy is the only one where we maybe aren't. That said, I think we'd still probably try new shows. Obviously, we're behind on The Magicians. We didn't quite get into it in time. But I feel like the new pilots for that we'd probably still check out. Core sci-fi appeals to us, definitely. Horror TV appeals to us, and comic book shows definitely appeal to us. This is like sci-fi are definitely. I feel like the regular networks outside of CW's stuff, and a little bit of Fox here and there. We'll get to some stuff they've announced later on, but the main networks don't give us a lot of stuff that pertain to us for the most part. Whereas sci-fi are like, here's a lot of stuff you care about.
Yeah, I just want to say, you say, the fantasy young adult one isn't as much applied to us. I'd say Winona Earp probably falls under that pillar out of the 4. So, there's some stuff in there already I'd
say that's half that and half into the paranormal horror category.
Yeah, it's kind of in between, but it feels kind of young adult-ish.
It does. But it's got demons and stuff, so I'm classing it in there. But I like this. I like this idea. They're really trying to bolster their content, their original content. It makes me think they've got a plan for a streaming service in a couple of years, that they want to have a big portfolio of stuff
Maybe.
to put
And
on there.
to be fair, the content has been picking up the last couple of years, undoubtedly.
I mean, Expanse is one of the best things on TV, and then we enjoyed Winona Earp and Van Helsing, which we did drop for time reasons, but I thought it had potential. At least when we watched it. Channel Zero was very good.
Channel Zero was excellent, yeah.
People like 12 Monkeys. We never checked that out, but
Yeah, I've seen the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Solid.
but it's already served into its third season, so we've
Yeah.
missed the boat on that for now. But people do like that, so yeah, they've got a lot of stuff, and no, so I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a really interesting mix of news there. I thought it was all like kind of just, oh, this is really like they're really sort of saying, right, this is our mission statement. We're rebranding to say this is what our portfolio is, and
it kind of feels like, yeah, we're probably going to be trying everything Sci-Fi puts out from now on.
it does feel that way. It does feel that way. So, but no, it's good. It's good that they're catering to what their channel name is supposed to be catering to.
Yeah, and as people who are into this sort of content, it feels like, okay, they're on target. They're giving us stuff we want to watch.
And they may not all be great, but if they're hitting us with some expanses and some channel zeros, then we're
Yeah,
gravy town, basically.
pretty much.
All right, here's something that I did not expect to read this week. Global Television and UK games developer Rebellion are teaming up. They're producing a TV show. I did not expect this week, nor did I expect a poster, because this is what I see. I seen the poster first and went, what the hell is this? And then looked into it. They are producing Judge Dredd Mega City 1.
This is pretty incredible, isn't it?
What the... Right, this obviously isn't TV news, but they announced a new Hellboy movie reboot this week. Right? New Hellboy movie, Judge Dredd TV show reboot, Thea was on Arrow, Jimmy was on Supergirl, like it was just the week of returns.
You know, obviously, just to give you a little tease of something that's coming up. When this news article broke, Peter posted this in the Malfas Facebook group, and I distinctly did notice he said, these things come in threes. I will give him credit. He did say that.
I did.
And that was before what else is coming.
What else is coming? Is there something else? What's the other thing? If I don't mention it, tell me.
If you don't mention it,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what the third one is. Oh well. Hopefully I'll click when I get to it. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Judge Dredd Mega City 1. There's a poster. It looks cool. They specifically did not say that there was no news on cast or anything like that right now. Obviously, I think everyone on the planet who liked that movie is like, please get Urban. Please do it. He's done TV shows before. He would be up for it, I think.
Yeah, he's done them, quite recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's only,
You know
only
what?
a couple of years ago, right? That Almost Human, was it called?
Yeah, almost. You almost said almost cancelled there, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was just trying to remember if it was actually called Almost Human. Or, it was the almost part that I was not sure on.
Yeah. So, no, I hope they get him. I hope they get him. I hope they get. I can't remember her name, but Olivia Thirlby, who played Anderson. I think I may have got that right.
I know who you're on about.
Yeah, I'll get her and him, because I mentioned no casting details yet, and I feel like, given the city in that movie in Dread, it was a lot more low key sci-fi. It wasn't flying cars and shit. If you're going to do it in a TV budget, I feel that's the one you're going towards rather than the other stuff. They did mention they want to bring in some of the tongue in cheek humor of the comics, as well as the grittiness of the movie. They want to have the grittiness of the movie, but have some of the fun of the comics.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
But that movie is fantastic. Urban is incredible. And the thing is, I hope this is just a case of they're waiting on schedules line up, because he's very passionate about having a sequel. He has been for years.
Yeah, I really hope they get him. There's no network announced yet, so obviously, I think the obvious hope is that like Netflix or Amazon or a big service
HBO
like that.
or something like that, even.
Yeah. I don't see HBO did it. I feel like HBO still feel... I feel like Netflix are the ones who are more likely to take a chance on something like this.
Mm.
And I think that's the obvious more place for it to go. So I hope we land in a place like that so they can get a decent budget for all the sci-fi stuff, and I hope they get Urban. Even if they don't, I'm still interested in a Judge Dredd TV show. I think that still sounds badass. But obviously, I'm hoping for Urban.
Everyone is, and I hope he does it. I mean, the thing is, I think he'd do it. It's more just, do they approach him and say, we want his version of it? That's that's what I think it's down to.
I hope they do. I think he would be willing, and I think they'd be fools not to. I don't think he's an expensive actor.
Not particularly, no.
Nah. So I think they'd be fools not to want him.
This is probably one of the few properties ever that Urban's name would be a big draw. Because generally
Yeah.
speaking, like he's got recognition. People know who he is, and so he has some level of that. But if you say he's doing Dredd, that is a draw in itself.
Yeah, that excites everyone who loved that movie if they do that.
Yeah.
So what did they say here in the news? Judge Dredd Mega City 1 will be an ensemble drama that follows a team of judges, futuristic cops, invested with the power to be judge, jury, and executioner as they encounter the myriad of challenges of a world in which the East Coast cities have merged into a giant megalopolis. There's an extra L in there. I missed it. Apologies. It's not a word I say often. So yeah, despite its 22nd century setting, many of the issues they encounter will have echoes of those in today, from the dangers of domestic terrorism to the tensions between the ultra-rich and the disenfranchised. That sounds like Judge Dredd, by all means. So,
Yeah.
go for it. Give me it. Judge Dredd TV show. That sounds great. I'm
And
all for it.
also, when it's going to come up, it's like, oh, I guess we could do the movie on Influx, and it gives me an excuse to rewatch that movie.
Both
and
movies.
I love that movie. Yeah, no, but I'm not excited about the other one.
Oh, I've got nostalgia for the Stallone one.
Yeah,
I am the
actually.
law! 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 It's great. Do you know what? You want a drinking game to play? Watch that Stallone Judge Dredd and take a shot every time they say law.
Look,
I dare
I
you.
like drinking games as much as the next person. More so than you in this case, because you're the next person in this scenario. But I do value my liver a little bit.
No.
Arrow says otherwise, I admit, but limits.
I loved it in a week that could have been really boring for news because it was just all these like renewals and cancellations, and I really cared about a couple of them, of course, but this was like a really exciting, just like, whoa, this came out of nowhere, like this is great.
Yeah, and it was the same as the Hellboy thing. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. Next up, this also came out of nowhere. FXX.
This is the third one. That was somewhat in sense that it was,
was it?
sort of related property, comes out of nowhere.
Okay, I see. This isn't a thing coming back for me though, so I wouldn't count this as the third. For me, I'm still waiting for number 3 to hit.
See, I would kind of sense that it's a related sort of property, comes out of nowhere, no warning, just here you go.
All right. So FXX are working in. Oh, actually, not even working. They've actually given a straight to series order. Believe it or not.
10 episodes.
10 episodes coming in 2018 of an animated Deadpool series, which Donald Glover is behind. He's going to be producing and presumably writing, and maybe he'll end up voicing a character.
Yeah, because he's not busy enough, apparently.
Because he does everything.
He's so busy.
He is really busy. So yeah, I'm not a huge Deadpool fan, admittedly, but sure.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Glover's comedy, at the very least.
I love Donald Glover, so it's certainly an interesting story that I did not expect to see this week again. So I'll give it that. It was at least a surprising thing where I was like, oh wait, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah. It's just really surprising this week. Like you say, all these other news stories, cancellations, renewals, it's like, yeah, we were expecting those. It's right on schedule. And then these sort of things just come out of nowhere. And it's like, okay then.
All right, great. So yeah, it's on FSX, so I imagine they'll have as much swearing and stuff as they can, but without maybe the full hard R kind of thing, which is better for it, because you can't do a kids Deadpool animated show.
No, but because it's animated, it gets away with
A lot of the violence
a lot
and
of
stuff.
violence because it's animated. Yeah.
Yeah, even nudity to an extent, as long as they don't.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So next up, Showtime has ordered a half-hour comedy called Smilf. I believe the S stands for single.
Right. Okay.
You were wondering there. You're trying to figure that out.
I was like, what's the S?
10 episode first season. It'll debut this fall. It is based on Frankie Shaw's, who's going to be in it, and she's going to write it as well, I believe. But she had a short film that won awards at the Sundance Film Festival, and it's going to be based on that. It follows a single 20-something single mother from South Boston whose desires for relationships, sex, and a career collide with the realities of young single motherhood. So not much to go on, but yeah, sounds like a comedy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I like the name.
So yeah, it's the fact that you have to stop and think and go, what's the S? You know, it's clever in that sense because it makes you remember it.
Yeah. So that's Smilf. And next up, USA Network has greenlit Damnation to series. This is a drama. It's described as an epic saga about the secret history of the 1930s American heartland, centering on the mythic conflict and bloody struggle between big money and the downtrodden, God and Greek, charlatans and prophets. It's going to premiere this October 2017. Netflix is co-producing it, so outside the US, Netflix is going to have it. Everywhere else, so that's the thing.
Great.
Yeah. To be fair, we've not heard all the dates yet, so maybe it'll be.
No, but September, October, I just assume everything lands in there until I hear otherwise, and I dread it every year.
They've got a meteor description here as well, so I'll give you the full thing. Damnation stars newcomer Seth Davenport as the man masquerading as a small-town Iowa preacher in the hopes of starting a full-blown insurrection against the status quo. Focused on his mission, he is unaware that an industrialist tycoon has hired a professional strikebreaker named Creeley Turner, played by Logan Marshall Green. That's Quarry, by the way, in case you... not a good sign for Quarry. Although these cable shows, they can have like 2 or 3 of these a year, admittedly, because there's only 10 episodes.
That said, tell me about Quarry already.
Yeah, I want to know about Quarry. Come on, Cinemax, you bastards. Green light of season 2. So yeah, strikebreaker named Creeley Turner, played by him, to stop the uprising by any means necessary. But unbeknownst to those around them, those 2 men already share a secret bloody past.
I don't know. I'm not super into this, but it doesn't sound awful.
I think it's down to quality. I was going to say Quarry there. It's down to Quarry.
It's down to his performance.
Yeah.
All of it.
Nah, it's down to quality. If this is well directed and stuff, I can see this being really sort of tense and like this blood feud between these 2 people on opposite sides. I can see it being a thing. I can also see it being a really generic, heartless show. Yeah,
and it's USA Network, you say, so I assume the latter for the most part.
But they did give us Mr. Robot, so it gets a...
They did, and this happens every goddamn time they put out a new show.
They get
you go, oh, it depends on quality, and the premise is okay, and it's like... Usually we just write it off, go, USA, and then it's like, Mr. Robot, and it's like, god damn it, now it's like, this might actually be good.
Netflix has commissioned a French original series called Osmosis, and it's the second French series. It's set in Paris in the near future. It's 8 episodes, and it'll focus on a new dating app called Osmosis, that's been developed that can decode true love, digging deep into its users' brain data to find the perfect match with 100% accuracy. But is there a price to pay when letting an algorithm decide whom you will love, using technology that can only access the innermost recesses of your mind and your best kept secrets? And they're describing it as a grounded sci-fi. Honestly, this sounds to me like a plot for an episode of Black Mirror, which they went, no, we can do 8 episodes of this.
It does, doesn't it? And I was thinking it sounds like Black Mirror, but
yeah,
hey, French Black Mirror, I'm down.
It sounds okay. Obviously, when it comes to sci-fi, we tend to be up for trying it.
Yeah, we're a little bit more lenient, aren't we?
Yeah, it sounds interesting, and I don't think we've done a French TV show yet. So
No. We're broadening our horizons, though. We've done a few foreign shows in the last year.
Yeah, there's a German show coming from Netflix this year that looks good. We'll be trying that as well. So they're really making us try a lot of cool, different things, which is nice.
Yeah.
And who can forget Samurai Gourmet?
It's nice, though, actually, while we're on this, because it's all about just the accessibility to it. It's like it's there, so you can watch it. It's something that, without Netflix going, here you go, this is in your home, no problem. It's something that you never even consider trying.
It's because they're really a worldwide thing, so they have these different, and they make it available to everyone. So we watch 3% and really like it from Brazil because we can. And it's great.
They might be making it with Brazilians in mind. When they go, hey, this is your show, but they go, well, it's our rights, our service. Why not let everyone have it? And it's really nice that we get to enjoy these as well.
Yeah. All right, next up, Critical Content is developing a science fiction novel, The Left Hand of Darkness, as a limited series. There's no network yet, but
I like the title.
it is a good title. It's a 1969 book that it's based on. Yeah, and the author, Lee Gunn, obviously that's a foreign name, I have no idea if I pronounced that. He's 87 years old, he's going to be a consultant producer on the project, so he's still involved. The book apparently revolves around a human male's mission to an alien planet known as Winter, where the inhabitants have become androgynous with unusual mating rituals and gender characteristics that are fluid.
Sounds interesting, and again, as you said, with a lot of sci-fi ahead of its time, from from the 60s, and then this, it feels like a show that that this makes sense in today's modern society.
Yeah, it's going to be a sci-fi show that explores sexuality and all the sort of tropes that we assign to it through this alien race. That sounds interesting. Sounds like a good limited series. We'll keep an eye on that. See when it pops
down.
up. All right, next up, Hulu has ordered a pilot, not a series, a pilot for Crash and Burn, which is based on a book from 2013 by Michael Hassan. The show's coming from the creator of Damages, which I heard was good. I never watched it, but I'd heard good things about that. That was the Rose Byrne and Glenn Close lawyer show from. It was on FX, I think. It started. But yeah, it tracks the lives of three troubled suburban boys through three different time periods, starting in the 1990s. Equal parts mystery, thriller, and character study, Crash and Burn aims to honestly depict the humour, aggression, and awkwardness of pubescent boys. The mystery of the first season is centred around an attempted school shooting and the extent to which these boys may have played a part.
Sounds alright.
Sounds interesting. I mean, the first part I wasn't so sure in different time periods, but then you add in the mystery and like maybe this mystery's been investigated in all three time periods, kind of thing. Like, I can see it being cool.
Or rather, if it's not being investigated necessarily, maybe you have the mystery is at the present day, so to speak, or the one in the middle. Yeah. That's when it happens, and that's the investigation. The first one is before that you have the cause, what builds up to this, and then the future one in this scenario would be what was the effect? How did things change because of all this?
Maybe. I don't know. Again, this is a sort of one where if the direction and writing's up to par, if they make it engaging, I can see this being really good. Yeah. But no, that's Crash and Burn. Hulu have ordered a pilot. So it may not go to series, but they're at least pilot ordered. Next up, Amazon has given a series order to The Dangerous Book for Boys, which is a comedy that's coming from Bryan Cranston. He's producing it. It is actually only 6 episodes this first season they've ordered, a half-hour show. And it's based on Conan Hal Golden's book of the same name. I may have butchered that last name. The book itself doesn't have a plot. It's actually like an instructional book. It's it's The Dangerous Book for Boys, and it gives you tips and topics on like fishing, juggling, histories of famous battles, and marbles. It's like a kids trivia book.
Have we heard about this before? Because I feel a very similar idea at the moment.
Yeah, I think we might have. The book became a bestseller in 2006. The series will follow a boy named Wyatt and his brothers as they deal with the death of their father. He leaves his sons a copy of The Dangerous Book for Boys, so it's actually in the plot, the book, which inspires a fantasy world in which Wyatt reconnects with his father while learning important life lessons. So that actually sounds kind of interesting. It doesn't sound like a comedy. It sounds like a proper like fantasy drama. It does, yeah. But I'm curious, certainly.
Yeah, it sounds all right.
Do you know? I feel like, obviously, we've not got to the network stuff yet, but it feels like we've had a lot of good, decent... Like, they could be bad, sure, but if the quality's there, they all have potential. I don't think we've hit anything yet that's felt like, oh, this is going to be shit.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing there that we're going, nah, that's not for us.
Yeah, there's been a lot of potential so far. Speaking of Amazon, they've given an 8-episode straight-to-series order for a fantasy drama. I'd fancy that. Called Carnival Raw. Carnival Raw is a fantasy noir set in a neo-Victorian city. Mythical creatures fleeing their war-torn homeland have gathered in the city, and tensions are simmering between the citizens and the growing immigrant population. The series follows the investigation of a string of unsolved murders that are eating away at whatever uneasy peace still exists. So this is mythical city
so down
with
for this.
mythical creatures, and there's a murder mystery at the core of it. This sounds badass as shit.
Well, as soon as you got to it's a fantasy noir, I was like, I'm in. And then everything you said after that was like, yes, 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 I'm in. This sounds incredible. And it's one of those, usually we say it's sci-fi that hits on these, present day themes. They use the allegory of aliens or whatever.
You read the illegal, or not illegal,
the refugees, essentially.
Immigrant population. You hear that and you're like, all right, you can see how this is going to be topical.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Sounds so good, though.
It does sound good. 8 episodes sounds like a great length for it as well. Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. Okay. Man, Amazon are really finally starting to interest us.
They are. I'm actually glad I now have both. It's nice.
For a long time we were like, Amazon, they're nothing on Netflix. But then, the last couple of months they've gone, here's some stuff that you can care about.
Admittedly, we may not see most of this stuff until next year, but at the very least, it's on the horizon. So
it's nice to finally have something to go, I'm excited for Amazon to do stuff.
Yeah. All right, so that is officially the end of all the brand new, even though the Dangerous Picker Boys I think we'd heard of before, but that is the end of all the brand new stuff. This is now all the series orders for stuff that we have heard before, either during pilot season or just when it was announced it's been in development. So before we get to the network, there's one USA Network one. They've given the green light to Unsolved. This was the sort of the scripted, fictionalized true story of the investigations of Tupac and Biggie.
Ah, yeah, I remember.
Unsolved will chronicle the 2 major police investigations into the separate murders of rappers Tupac and Big E. The series is based on the experiences of former LAPD detective Greg Kading, who led multiple law enforcement task forces investigating the murders. So that's coming early 2018. They're planning on that airing. So there's that. But now we're on to the network series orders.
Right. Let's see what we've got to be worried about this fall.
And for those curious, I'm on page 6 of 11 of the news at this juncture.
Christ.
6 of 11. Alright, so NBC, we've got all the NBC ones first. I didn't really spend much time putting these into any particular order other than the networks. So it's all the NBC, but in terms of comedy drama, it's just mixed in.
You got lazy.
I thought I seen a red marker on there. I was just imagining things. Shut up. There's 11 pages of news. It didn't get lazy at all. Anyway, NBC have ordered a sitcom called AP Bio. This is the one that stars Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philly. He stars as a philosophy scholar who loses out on his dream job and goes to work as a high school advanced placement biology teacher, but he makes it clear that he will not be teaching biology. Realising he has a room full of honour roll students at his disposal, he decides to instead use the kids to his own benefit. Which honestly sounds like something one of the characters from It's Always Sunny would do if they could get that job.
Yeah, I would say it was like, we watched The Mick and we were like, she's kind of just a character from Always Sunny. This feels like the same. You can see Dennis pulling a scheme to do this.
If Dennis happened to have a biology degree, this is something he would do.
This would be one of the schemes.
Yes. It really does feel like that. And you can almost just hear Frank from the back room barking orders, like, get him to do this! Yeah.
And honestly, that makes me go, yeah, I'm down to check this out, because I kind of have an idea of what to expect.
And apparently that was a very highly buzzed about pilot, so they're feeling good about it. Right, so next up, they've ordered Good Girls, which is a drama, from Jenna Bans. One note is the lead role has actually been recast after the pilot. So they've greenlit it, but they're changing the lead star. It also stars Mae Whitman and Matthew Lillard as notable names. So it's got some names there, but they're recasting the lead role. The series is about 3 good girl suburban wives and mothers who suddenly find themselves in desperate circumstances and decide to stop playing it safe, risking everything to take their own power back. So it sounds like they get into like so either criminal activity or vigilante justice kind of thing. They start doing stuff for themselves. It's basically Desperate Housewives meets Breaking Bad, from the sounds of it.
It's an apt description. I'm still not that interested, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would be willing to watch a pilot of this, though, because at least I can see how it would maybe be interesting, depending on how it's played.
Yeah, there's an idea there, but it is inherently interesting to me.
Yeah. NBC have also greenlit the series of Riviera? Riviera?
Riviera.
Riviera. Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I'm just assuming that's what you're trying to say.
It probably is. It is a grounded, dramatic thriller about a former detective specialising in human behaviour who is brought in when I was going to read lunch there. Man, that was going to be a weird sentence if I said lunch. Who is brought in when the launch of an advanced virtual reality program has dangerous and unintended consequences. This is probably the most interesting thing NBC have greenlit.
Yeah,
Because
I thought you said the networks had nothing of interest.
mostly, this was the one thing from NBC that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Virtual reality. It's a thing. That said, though, it's from the showrunner of Extent, which was a show on CBS a couple of years ago, which was absolutely dire. So it could be a watch the pilot and find out it's terrible and never look back. So here's something.
Okay.
That's actually it for NBC. NBC didn't have a lot this at least this for this news video. Maybe they'll have more for next week. Let's go into ABC.
All right, let's do this. Because, they cancelled a lot, so they should have a lot here.
ABC have ordered For the People, which comes from scandal writer Paul Davies. It's the latest Shondaland drama, which follows two brand new lawyers working for both the defence and the prosecution, handling the most high-profile cases and high-stakes federal cases in the country, all as their lives intersect in and out of the courtroom. I remember this one. It sounded dull at the time. It sounds dull now.
Sounds like a Shonda Rhimes show.
And
there is only one of those I will defend.
Cool. Defamation?
No, but I would defend it if it was real. No. How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, right, okay. ABC has ordered The Crossing, which is about refugees from a war-torn country seek asylum in a small American fishing town. Only the country these people are... Well, actually, this one's quite interesting as well. I just remembered this one, actually. This is the one that's got the twist. This has got a twist in the description.
do you know what? You started this, and I go... I remember this, and I remember not being that interested until there was a twist, but I don't remember what the twist was.
Yeah. Refugees seek asylum in a small American fishing town. Only the country these people are fleeing from is America. And the war they are fleeing from hasn't happened yet. They're time travellers. As the government tries to uncover the truth behind this mysterious migration, the only one thing is certain. The lives of the people here, both townspeople and these newcomers, will never be the same.
If this show wasn't going ahead, I'd say the time travel thing was a one-year phenomenon. Because obviously, last year, it felt like half of the new shows were, it's time travel, because we had Timeless.
Cancelled.
Time After Time.
Cancelled.
Making History.
Cancelled.
What was some of the other? Frequency.
Cancelled.
It really felt like, okay, time travel. We tried that, it's done. No, that's it, we're finished.
Nah.
But maybe NBC are just running a bit late.
Yeah, but at least here it doesn't look like there's going to be constant time travel. It sounds like they come to the past once and then we go from there. So maybe this will work better. It's got more of a Traveller's kind of vibe to it, I guess, in that sense. But no. So The Crossing sounds like it's got potential. So that's one we'll definitely be trying the pilot of. Could suck, but potential. All right, ABC ordered The Good Doctor, which stars what's his name? Sean Murphy from Bates Motel. That was Norman Bates on that. He's a young surgeon with autism and a savant syndrome. He relocates from a quiet country life to join a prestigious hospital's surgical unit. Alone in the world, unable to personally connect with those around him, Sean uses his extraordinary medical gifts to save lives and challenge the skepticism of his colleagues. I'm sorry, you awake, Connor? You still with us?
Honestly, I stopped listening after you said medical drama or whatever it was at the start.
Young surgeon with autism and savant syndrome. Well, admittedly, at least the autism and savant syndrome, at least is a little bit different. I still don't care.
Kind of feels a little bit stereotypical, to put savant with autism. I feel like I see that a lot on TV.
Yeah, I don't even think that's a pilot watch for us. I think that's just an easy ignore.
Oh, God, no. You ain't making me watch that.
ABC.
I have limits.
ABC have ordered The Gospel of Kevin. That's a good name. I'll give it that.
I'm in.
You don't even care what it is. It is a lighter one-hour drama. It stars Jason Ritter as a cluelessly self-serving person on a dangerous path to despair. In a downward spiral, Kevin returns home to stay with his widowed twin sister and niece. On his first night there, an unlikely celestial being named Yvette appears to him and presents him with a mission to save the world.
Celestial being named Yvette. I'm in.
I'm not as immediately into this, but
It sounds like it maybe just batshit crazy enough that I want to try it out.
we'll do the pilot. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm down for the pilot. We'll try the pilot. We'll review the pilot. All right.
Honestly, it's the fact that it has a good name that sways me.
Yeah. So what's that? I think that's one from NBC and two from ABC so far that we're like, yeah, definitely trying the pilot of that.
Yeah.
All right. ABC have greenlit The Mayor. This is a sitcom about the young rapper who needs a big break. For years, he's toiled away in a small inner-city apartment, making music in his junk-filled bedroom closet. Tired of waiting for opportunity, Courtney cooks up the publicity stunt of the century, running for mayor in his hometown in California to generate buzz for his music career. Unfortunately for him, his master plan goes wildly awry, ending up in the most terrifying of outcomes, an election victory. With the help of his mother, played Yvette, there's that name again, Yvette Nicole Brown from Community, who I like a lot, she was good in that show, and his friends, including Leah Michelle, who plays Valentina. Courtney will have to overcome his hubris if he wants to transform the struggling city that he loves. So,
Do you know what I'm just imagining? You know, Parks and Rec.
yeah,
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, right?
I think I do. Yes.
Yeah. Ice Town. But just as the whole show.
Yep. No, I can see it. Honestly, I think this is an okay idea for a sitcom. I'm definitely in for a pilot.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like Yvette Nicole Brown. Leah Michelle's okay. Like, she's fine and stuff I see her in. So,
Yeah, I don't have any problem with her.
so no, that's okay. Obviously, the good thing about saying we'll do a pilot for a sitcom is though we never keep them on. So it's not a commitment to say.
Yeah. There's no worry that hang on, am I adding on an extra show here? It's like no, I'm adding on one episode.
Yeah, what one half-hour episode, we're fine. ABC has also ordered. This is the last ABC show, by the way. So
Oh, thank God.
it was quite a lot, but this is the last one. Startup. With a space in it, because there was a show called Startup that started last year.
I was going to say, I remember that.
Yeah, on Crackle, which is all one word. Startup is inspired by the podcast of the same name. The series stars Zach Braff as a brilliant internet radio journalist and husband and father of two who's about to do something crazy. Quit his job and start his own company. He quickly discovers it's going to be a lot harder than he thought. That's actually pretty generic. When you hear based on a podcast, you think, oh, what the hell is this going to be about? But it's a pretty generic enough sounding plot for a sitcom.
Yep. And I'd forgotten what it was, and then I remembered because you said Zach Braff. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this one now because I don't like him.
I don't like Zach Braff either, which means I don't like Scrubs. Come at me, internet. Come at me. Scrubs.
Sorry, we're a united front on this one.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's just not for me. I don't like Zach Braff, and therefore I find that show tedious. But it does have its fans, and maybe they'll want to check this out because they like Zach Braff. Fair enough. Knock yourselves out. Not for me.
Not me either.
Cool. CW time. CW.
Oh, and this is the one where, typically our wheelhouse.
Yeah, we expect a few things here that are going to be for us. Alright, so first up, they ordered life sentence. About a young woman who's diagnosed with terminal cancer who finds out that she is not dying after all and has to learn to live with the choices she made when she decided to live like she was dying. Which basically sounds like it was going to be season 2 of No Tomorrow.
Yes, and I remember saying that as soon as it was announced.
Yes, and we said this sounds like the more interesting part where she has to actually face everyone that she maybe pissed off because she thought, oh, I'm dying, I'll just speak my mind to people and things like that.
It's more interesting, but I still don't care that much.
Probably not. I mean, it may be like a pilot watch for us just to see, because you never know, it might end up having a spin on it or something that's great or whatever, but
yeah,
not really feeling it. They officially ordered Black Lightning, which is the new DC Comics show from Berlanti & Co. Just to give you a quick, it follows Jefferson Pierce, a former vigilante who hung up his suit years ago and then works as a teacher, but with a daughter hell-bent on justice and a star student being recruited by a local gang, he will be pulled back into the fight as the legendary Black Lightning.
Yeah, excited for this one, of course.
Yeah. I think it has potential. I like the whole father-daughter dynamic. I like the fact that his two daughters are like becoming heroes as well, and it gives it a really different vibe to the other.
It gives it something different to the other superhero shows, but it's another Berlanti superhero show, and for the most part, I'm down for those.
Wednesday nights aside.
Hey, I'm down for the drinking game of those.
All right. They also officially ordered Dynasty, which is the reboot of the old show from the 80s and 90s or whenever it finished, maybe the 70s. I don't know. I can't remember when Dynasty aired, but yeah, reboot of that follows two of America's wealthiest families, the Carringtons and the Colbys, as they feud for control over their fortunes and children. The series will be told primarily through the perspectives of two women at odds: Fallon Carrington, daughter of billionaire Blake Carrington, and her soon-to-be stepmother Crystal, a Hispanic woman marrying into a WASP family in America's most powerful class. Needless to say, we have zero interest in this whatsoever, so I don't even think we're going to bother with a pilot.
Yeah, I have so little interest that I remember when this first came up, we were questioning what WASP was. I know people told us,
Yeah.
but I've forgotten again.
I remember. Do you want me to tell you what WASP is?
Go on.
White Anglo-Saxon precedent. So
Good for you.
yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Alright, so next up, they greenlit Valor, which is the boundaries between military discipline and human desire are tested on a US Army base that houses an elite unit of helicopter pilots trained to perform clandestine international domestic missions. And domestic missions. Obviously, the international and domestic are two different things. You don't do international domestic missions. That was a weird word to leave out there. I apologize. I've been reading a lot of these, okay? The drama unfolds in the present as well as in flashbacks to a failed mission involving one of the first female pilots in the unit, ultimately uncovering layers of personal and government military secrets, leading to a season-long plan to rescue a group of MIA soldiers. The season-long plan part does sound like it could be mildly interesting. However, I have very little interest in this.
I'd be more interested if it wasn't on CW because there's a budget and I don't think we'll get that many helicopter battles, which is what I really want. When you tell me it's a team of helicopter pilots, I want helicopter action.
That said,
I feel like that's not going to deliver.
I am willing to do the pilot of this though, just to see what it is like, because I am curious what a CW show like this is like.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for them, isn't it?
Yeah, so curious. And that was the last of the CW orders, which, to be honest, it makes sense because they renewed almost everything. They have no slots to fill.
Yeah, they cancelled what? No Tomorrow
And Frequency. Yeah.
And they've ordered how many in there? 3?
And I think maybe one or two things ended kind of naturally. But yeah, they've ordered 3 shows there.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing it on, they only have 10 hours a week. They're pushing it already. So,
yeah. So on to Fox. And Fox is the network that sometimes has things for us, because obviously we get 2 new shows last year, which gave us 3 at the time.
Yeah, Fox typically they like to do a little, a spin on things that sometimes just about makes it up our alley.
Yeah, they've ordered the comedy LA to Vegas, which is the comedy about the flight crew who always do the trip from LA to Vegas and back at the weekend. Which actually seems like an okay idea for a sitcom.
Do you know, speaking of earlier, we mentioned Room 104. It kind of reminds me of the same sort of thing where you have your regular staff.
But you have the guests.
But then you have all the guests, and in this case, the passengers that rotate and give you the different comedy each week. And I think it'll work out nicely for both of them.
I can see half of it also being in the in a hotel as well. Like I can see some episodes being all in the hotel.
Yeah, I can see it being in the obviously in the airports. The crew have their own room where they sit and especially cabin crew, they have to wait hours just on call in case there's a flight.
Yeah.
So they can be called in for that one episode.
I can also see them playing it loosely, and because it's like Vegas, I can see them like, oh, we don't fly back till Monday. Let's go to the casino for the weekend, and I can see them doing that kind of thing. They also ordered the comedy Ghosted, which is the sort of the one that's described as X-Files as a comedy. It has Craig Robertson and Adam Scott in it. One's the skeptic, one's the paranormal sort of believer. And they are recruited by the Bureau Underground to look into the rampant, unexplained activity in Los Angeles, all while uncovering a larger mystery that could threaten the existence of the human race. Obviously, we're going to check out a pilot for this. It's too
I'm
insane
down. The concept is fantastic. I like both of those people involved a lot.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much
what's not to like?
Next up, they ordered, this is probably no surprise, but they ordered the X-Men show, The Gifted, which is described as an action-adventure series. And the series focuses on a suburban couple whose ordinary lives are rocked by the sudden discovery that their children possess mutant powers. Forced to go on the run from a hostile government, the family joins up with an underground network of mutants who must fight to survive. There was a short teaser released with this news this week. It was about 20 odd seconds long. It's really just one of those annoying teasers for the full trailer, which is coming later on.
Yeah, we'll have that for next week.
Yeah, I think the 15th they said it was coming. Which I hate that. I hate this new trend where they do like, 5-second teaser for the full trailer coming later this week. I hate this trend so much. The only reason why I'm mentioning it is because this is the first time we've even seen anything from this show. We haven't even had a cast photo yet of them in costume. We had like a cast photo of them kind of doing a table read, but that's not the same thing.
It doesn't count.
Yeah. There's a brief glimpse of Amy Acker. You get a sense of the powers and stuff. It looks okay from what you can gather from a 20-second snippet of quick things.
Yeah, it looked fine, didn't it? I still want to give them props again for going with just the gifted. You know, they're not putting X-Men into the title. I mean, I'm sure it'll play heavily into the marketing. Don't get me wrong, but it's not in the title.
I have no doubt there'll be a giant X behind the poster, that kind of thing.
Probably. I mean, even that 20-second teaser had to make a big deal about it being from Singer.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it. No
surprise, but I do want to point out that we're adding X-Men the Gifted, and I'm just saying that because to be clear what it is. Black Lightning, a Deadpool animated series. Like how many comic book shows are going to be like on?
Yeah, I mean Deadpool's not till 2018 at the very least. Don't forget Judge Dredd when that happens is another one.
Yeah, but I mean even 2018 though, then you add in Titans from that new service, and you add in like all this other stuff. There's so much in development, comic book TV show wise. There is literally dozens at this point in development or currently airing. There's a silly amount of them.
I mean, CW are going to have 5 just DC superhero. That's you know. Then they've got iZombie, which is obviously a comic book property as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's half a dozen just from CW.
It is, yeah. Now you got one on Fox, you got one on ABC. You have 2 on ABC because you got to have Inhumans as well, on top of Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
So tons of them.
Legion,
of course, on FX. Yes. Hulu's getting in the game.
Yeah, they got Runaways coming.
Freeform's getting in the game. They've got 2 coming.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger and
New Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over the place.
Man.
So yeah, right. So one last Fox series. Oh, sorry, no, 2 last Fox series. First one is The Resident, which is a medical thing.
Don't even bother.
Okay, it's The Resident. Yeah, there we go. We're done. It's a medical thing. It's fine. And then after that, they've also ordered a 13-episode mid-season show. Actually, sorry. Technically, they've not ordered this yet. They're expected to order this. They've not actually made the official announcement, but they're expected to. And the fact that it's mid-season is probably why they haven't announced it yet, because it's later on in the time frame. But it's called 911, and it's produced by Ryan Murphy. It is an ER-style procedural about 911 operators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know it's a pilot for us. It sounds dull and boring and typical.
Let them go back to Scream Queens. Give me more of that.
Yeah, give them more of that. Maybe that's why this is mid-season, because they're still doing Scream Queens in the fall.
Oh yeah, go on.
Do it. Alright, so we have to end on a dour note.
I mean, anyone who's a long-time listener will know the format of Peter's lists. When it comes to just general show announcements anyway, there's always one network at the end. Every time.
So it was funny. CBS had not actually given me any news until about an hour before we recorded, and they greenlit like 5 or 6 shows. So now we have 5 or 6 CBS shows here at the end to talk about. I will quickly tell you what they are. We will exchange,
and then we'll say how little we care.
Yeah, we'll exchange glances, say how little we care, and we'll get through it probably quite quickly. So, first up, Me, Myself and I is a single-camera comedy about one man's life over 50 years. It'll focus on 3 distinct periods in his life: 14-year-old in 1991, 40-year-old in present day, and 65-year-old in 2042. Can I just say that the fact that he's 40 when he was 14 in 91, I think I said this when we first talked about it, but that makes me feel old. That someone who was just in their early teens in 1991 is now a 40-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary.
Again, I think that's at the time. At least this has something going for it as a comedy. It's got something to do.
Yeah, it's a cool concept at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Next up, Instinct stars Alan Cumming as a former CIA operative who has since built a normal life as a gifted professor and writer. He's pulled back into his old life when the NYPD needs to help stop a serial killer on the loose. It is based on the soon-to-be-published book by James Patterson.
Translation, CBS 101.
Yep. Not even a pilot. Not even a pilot. I think we learned from last year there's no point in doing these CBS pilots we just don't care about. Unless there's, like... We did one or two that were related to something else that made it give us some talking points, but Jesus. I don't even know what I'd say about that.
So, yeah, it's a CBS show. That's probably all you can say.
Next up, Wisdom of the Crowd follows a visionary tech innovator who creates a cutting-edge crowdsourcing app to help solve his daughter's murder and revolutionises crime-solving in the process. The series is based on the Israeli format of the same name.
Sounds very similar to APB, doesn't it?
It says another CBS procedural about solving crimes. Pass.
Yep.
I'm done. Thank you. Go away. Next up, SEAL Team. My God, even the title for this one sounds boring and generic as all hell.
I remember we tried to guess the name for this one, and even we didn't go that generic.
Yeah, it was untitled, wasn't it? Yeah.
I remember that because we were going, well, they'll use SEAL, but do it as a different acronym for something else, and you know that's what they'll do, and they'll do something interesting with it. No, this was screw it, SEAL Team.
SEAL Team. Oh my God! Do you even need to tell you what it's about? It tells the story of a professional and the professional and personal lives of the most elite unit. Oh man, you can tell I don't care. It tells the story of the professional and personal lives of the most elite unit of Navy SEALs as they train, plan, and execute the most dangerous, high-stakes missions our country can.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It sounds so generic and boring.
Every time, I'd love CBS just to go, hey, this'll get your attention. Never does.
Imagine CBS had the one where it was like, oh, the immigrants come, but they're fleeing from America, and the war has not happened yet. Imagine if that was a CBS show, and that was like in one of those.
But if you told me that as a description on a CBS show, I'd go, okay, so the immigrants solve crimes?
Okay, finally, the final news story in this marathon edition of our news. CBS has given the order for the reboot of SWAT.
Of course they have.
It follows a locally born and bred SWAT sergeant who is torn between loyalty to the streets and duty to his fellow officers when he's tasked to run a specialised tactical unit that is at the last stop in law enforcement in Los Angeles. Guess what? They solve crimes and catch bad guys every week. Because it's CBS.
CBS actually don't know how to do anything else, do they?
No, they do.
No, it's the dramas.
No, they do. They have doctors who save lives every week. Or they have lawyers who win court cases every week.
Touché.
Potentially they might have like firefighters fight fires every week. Although NBC's got the monopoly on that at the moment with the Chicago fire. But it could happen.
It could.
Oh my God. I could not be any less interested in any of these CBS shows.
Yeah, I feel like if you wiped CBS from my mind, I wouldn't lose anything.
Alright, I guess that leaves us to pick what our favourite episode of TV was this week.
Indeed it does.
And I do know, actually. I do know. I was going to say it was going to be tough, but honestly, it's not really. I'll jump in first, I'll say it. Better Call Saul wins this week for me. It just does.
That's fair. Yeah, Sunday night, watched American Gods episode 2. I was like, I think that might end up being my pick this week. Because it was a great episode, you can't deny that.
Oh, no, it was good, yeah.
And then Better Call Saul came along, and it culminated a season and a half's worth of a story, and it was incredible. And half of it was in one room, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah, so, Vince Gilligan basically came in and said, "Hey, Mr. Fuller, this is how it's done, son."
Pretty much, and
that's what he did.
Yeah, American Gods was still, I still that's probably my number 2 choice.
It
But
was good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Handmaid's Tale. There's a lot of good TV on right
yeah,
now.
there is. It's nice that it's not that time of year where we go, yeah, it's Mr. Robot again, or yeah, it's Westworld again.
That's because those shows both aired when there was no other like big heavy hitter to
There
really
was nothing else that could have competed with those at the time.
No, because it was like Mr. Robot and then the CW shows. It was like, well, I mean, as much as I enjoy some of those, it's like Mr. Robot's winning.
Exactly. Whereas right now we got Saul, American Gods, Handmaid's Tale, Fargo.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all kind of roughly equal on various weeks.
Yeah, so there you go. That's our favourites for the week. Like I say, nothing coming next week except, of course, the season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is coming this week, which is one more thing we can scrap from the schedule, lighten the load a little bit once that's passed.
We're getting there. I have a love-hate relationship with May because it's quite busy, but it means it's the beginning of the end.
What has Agent May done to you?
Very good.
It's not as good as my Taken Timeless pun, but it was okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. We should warn you as well, there'll be a couple of late reviews this week. Supergirl for definite will not be up until Wednesday, due to some live commitments. And there's a very good chance that Better Call Saul, unfortunately, will also suffer the same fate and may not be up until sometime early on Wednesday. Apologies for this in advance, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just got to be the way it is. We're giving you some warnings so you don't expect them, early on Tuesday or late on Tuesday when we
that's the normal time, yeah.
Yeah. So apologies for that, nothing we can do. But I do believe, at least if you like Screams After Midnight, I think me and Tim are doing a bonus episode which should help to try and fill the void around that time. That might go up on Monday or Tuesday, so if you like horror movies, something instead. I know it's not quite the same as getting the next Better Call Saul review, but you get something. Look forward to that stuff. Obviously, another busy week. We're working our way through these busy weeks of May. The light is at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully we can start.
That's the thing. 3 weeks or so, we'll be like, things are nice and easy now.
Yeah. Because of course we did launch a Patreon a week ago. So yeah, go check that out. But the reason why I mention it is because we wanted to do like bonus little extra things for that, and we've had to like not do as much as we'd planned for the first couple of weeks because our schedule's been so hectic with all the TV reviews. So yeah, that'll speed up a little bit more as well once we managed to get past this rough couple of weeks. But yeah, that neatly leads me into my plugging of the Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, see some of the cool bonuses that you can get if you want to help us out and support the channel. We'd appreciate it. We also appreciate likes and subscribes and all that stuff. All of it helps. One of the specific bonuses, I'll plug this particular goal. The first goal, if we hit $100, is actually to do a second news video every week for movies. In the same style, and I'm mentioning that because we actually did bring up one bit of movie news during this show about Hellboy. So that's something that may happen if we hit that goal. Go check it out. But otherwise, guys, like, subscribe, get us on Twitter at @mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen for everyday ramblings. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you very, very much for watching. We will see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?